Welcome to the ghosting epidemic, where we tackle the controversial trends shaping today's job market. I'm Dr. Morgan Hayes, HR consultant and author of Modern Recruitment Strategies. Today, we're addressing the growing trend of HR professionals defending candidate ghosting.
And I'm Alex Rivera, job seeker advocate and founder of candidatefairness.org. Dr. Hayes, I've heard too many heartbreaking stories from qualified candidates who spend hours preparing for interviews only to never hear back. How can HR professionals possibly defend this practice?
Look, Alex, we need to be realistic about the modern hiring landscape. Companies receive hundreds, sometimes thousands of applications for a single position. With limited resources, providing personalized feedback to every candidate simply isn't feasible. Ghosting is unfortunate, but often a necessary efficiency.
Necessary? I strongly disagree. When someone invests time in multiple interviews, personalized assessments, and even trial projects, they deserve closure. The psychological impact is devastating. Candidates question their worth, experience anxiety about their careers, and develop lasting negative impressions of employers. This isn't just about courtesy, it's about mental health.
I acknowledge those concerns, but let's consider HR's perspective. Providing substantive feedback creates legal liability. Detailed rejection reasons can become ammunition for discrimination claims. Furthermore, many candidates react negatively to constructive criticism, creating additional conflicts. Sometimes silence is the safest option for companies.
That sounds like a convenient excuse rather than a legitimate reason. A simple template email confirming rejection requires minimal resources and eliminates the psychological limbo candidates experience. And regarding legal concerns, basic feedback like, "We selected someone with more specific experience," poses virtually no risk.
Templates are exactly the problem, Alex. Candidates complain equally about impersonal form rejections, and the HR teams I consult with report spending valuable hours answering follow-up questions from rejected candidates who want to debate the decision. There's no winning scenario here.
But there are companies doing this right. Shopify, IBM, and others have implemented systems where candidates receive automated but stage-appropriate feedback. The reputational damage from ghosting is substantial. 72% of candidates share negative experiences with others, and 28% actively discourage peers from applying to companies that ghost.
Those statistics are compelling. I'll grant you that. But implementing those systems requires resources that many companies, especially smaller ones, simply don't have. I'd argue ghosting is a symptom of a broader problem, the overwhelming volume of applications that modern HR departments face.
Then let's address that root problem. Companies could set clearer expectations about timelines, implement efficient applicant tracking systems, and be transparent about their process. The resources argument falls flat when you consider the cost of damaged employer brands and lost future talent. One study found companies with poor candidate experience see 35% lower application rates when reposting positions.
I see your point about brand damage. Perhaps we can agree on a middle ground. While personalized feedback for every applicant isn't realistic, companies should commit to providing closure at least to candidates who've advanced to interview stages. The further someone progresses, the greater the obligation for communication.
That's a start. I'd add that companies should clearly communicate their process up front, including realistic timeframes for decisions. Even automated responses are better than silence. The key is respecting candidates' time and emotional investment. This isn't just about being nice. It's good business practice that preserves talent relationships.
Fair point. Perhaps HR departments need to better calculate the long-term costs of ghosting against the short-term resource savings. In competitive industries, today's rejected candidate might be tomorrow's perfect hire for a different role, or even a potential client or customer.
Exactly. This discussion highlights something important. Both sides want efficient, respectful hiring processes. The solution isn't defending ghosting, but reimagining recruitment to be more sustainable and humane. Companies that lead this change will gain significant competitive advantage in the war for talent.
That's a perspective I can support. Thank you for this spirited debate, Alex. To our listeners, we hope this conversation helps both job seekers and HR professionals better understand the complexities of this issue. Remember that change happens when we acknowledge problems honestly and commit to improvement.
Thanks for listening to The Ghosting Epidemic. If you're an HR professional or job seeker with thoughts on this topic, we'd love to hear from you. Until next time, let's all commit to making the hiring process more transparent, one application